Hello. Oh, shoot.
I had no problem with Florida. I called when I got back, Verizon, because I was fixed. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm looking down the stairs. Goodbye. Eventually, I have to
Hey, Fred? Hey, Fred?
Hi, Bruce.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm holding my own, I guess. I got this bum knee that's been holding me back.
How bad is the knee? Is this a temporary thing or an
I don't
ongoing?
know. I had x-rays done on last week on Monday. And the results were, well, there's no arthritis that's causing your pain, and it doesn't look like there's any meniscus problem. but you should see an orthopedist, have him look at the x-rays and figure out what's going on. And it's, I take, an inflammatory drug that helps a lot, but still, it's a pain.
Yeah. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's,
I figure I've been pretty lucky to reach this age and not have something major happen like that. But,
yeah.
Can't go on forever.
Well, you had some cardiac stuff too, didn't you, a ways back?
Yeah. That's, I got the stents put in about 2007 and they've been holding up and doing fine. I see my cardiologist regularly and takes it. Actually, I started on quite a few meds and he's cutting me out of most of them now, weaning me off of them. So
That's
actually,
always good.
yeah. So that's good.
Did you get the hazard mitigation with the hazard plan?
No.
I just sent
First I
that.
saw it was your attachment.
Yeah. So comes Peggy.
We got a quorum. We must be just about on the edge, right?
Yeah, because now, hi Peggy.
Hi.
Yeah, because Liz unfortunately thought she could be here, but
Yeah, right.
couldn't. So, but and Tom and Lynn are both out of the area, but we should have 4 of us.
Okay.
John comes, that's a
Are
quorum.
we just squeaking by with the forum?
Yeah,
It's the subcommittee rally.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, a lot of times, with the Zoom, if
Yeah.
somebody's settled, like in Florida, I joined the group, but both Tom and Lynn are either traveling or so close to the landing, they didn't feel comfortable with it.
You look refreshed, Peggy, from your birdathon.
Yeah. Did you go out with Warren?
No, I wasn't able to.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of a bust in terms of birds.
Yeah, I gathered. Yeah. They still haven't shown up.
Yeah, I was hoping I would get out this week, but I still have so much cleanup to do from Birdathon. And we met with the elementary teachers today at Wellfleet Elementary School. So that's heating up. So
Yeah.
a lot
Good.
going on. But I had a fun time with Patty birding.
Yeah. She was pretty tired out after all that.
Well, I texted her late in the afternoon and I said, just so you know, I have reinforcements if you want to stay home and put your feet up. But she came anyway.
Yeah, she enjoyed it.
Hi, John.
Hi. There we go. Ta-da.
Okay. Well, wait about 1 more minute, just in case there are outside people that are coming to the meeting, which I think is very unlikely. And Denny's leading that or co-leading that walk.
Mhm.
That's going to,
Mhm.
he's not going to
Oh,
be
is that
around.
today?
Yeah.
Nice day for it.
Well, the wind's picking up and I see some gray clouds over there.
Yeah. It was so beautiful earlier.
That was a beautiful day.
So I think GB is away, but I may be confused. I thought they were away last week and then I ran into them at a function. So
Well,
I can't keep track.
we'll wait 1 more minute to the official start and then.
Do we have enough for a quorum?
Yeah, 4.
Minimum.
Yep. Just barely.
Good.
Now, if we only had 3, but Liz joined 2 minutes before the meeting was over, would that qualify as a quorum?
No, unfortunately. And we can't be 100% sure that she would be able to join.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate, but
That's the problem with electronic calendars.
yeah,
Your colleagues can look at your calendar and you're free
right.
because you neglected to write something and
But no longer free. All right, 4:30. So why don't we start the meeting? No public comments because no public. First, the agenda. Any corrections to the agenda or additions?
I had none.
Okay, move to accept.
I move that we accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Okay, and the minutes of both February and April. Any corrections or additions to the minutes?
I think I did correct the property
You did,
numbers.
and you
That
got
you
the
had-
right, you got it right.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
So, and I heard from Liz that she had looked at them and didn't have any corrections.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So move to accept.
I'll move.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So for the chair, I would just mention a couple things that are coming up, and this isn't really quite the place, but so I don't forget them. The coming up Saturday at Gull Pond, the Herring River is having a get together to talk about the herring run and the ponds and that sort of thing. So I believe it's 11 to 1. I can check. But they specifically asked me to pass that on, Dale.
Join us Saturday. It is, let's see. One I got here. I can't get it here.
Yeah, 11 to 1. Okay. And the other thing, just so again, I don't forget by the end of the meeting, is that I am not going to, barring COVID or some problem, I'm not going to be here on Monday. We're going to be visiting family in New York. And so Monday afternoon at 4 at the library is the Conservation Trust meeting. Is there anybody who'd be able to pick up that meeting? John, you can do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And John, I could be your backup if you can't do it.
Okay. There's no reason I can't. This is Monday at 4, Conservation Trust at the library.
Tom's not here. Property management, anything, Fred?
No, other than I mentioned that I was walking High Toss Road the other day and I saw in the area about where that old TV was thrown down in the creek, there was a wheel with a tire on it.
Did they exchange the TV for the wheel or it just joined?
I got to see the whole place free and clear of everything until I took that walk the other day.
Oh,
For what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, they use it. Did that boat ever get taken away, the one over by the dump, do you know? Anyway,
Yeah.
if you could just let Meredith, give Meredith a call and let her
Okay.
know that, or Audrey, or
Yeah.
either one.
And you said that was High Toss over near
Oh,
that?
yeah, along High Toss, where we saw the TV when we
Yeah,
went out.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, with the trail guides, I got notes from Lynn and Denny to talk a little bit about what's going on. The trail guides have supposed to have been printed, but it hasn't happened, and I'm not sure whether this is COVID related or, not able to get that. They're trying to keep it simple and just pick one color. But we'll just read a little bit. Not heard from Matt Thompson, who's the one that does the printing. And now it's too close to my departure to be able to react. Lynn says she'll return on the 7th. And Denny and she had suggested that they choose a color that's available. And Lynn says you can wait, and Denny has said that he's going to be exploring around to see whether there's somewhere else to get the printing done. Okay, Lynn had assembled 25 packages, and the 10 of them need the Herring River overlook. So the Herring River overlook has been done for the other ones. But both Lynn and Denny wanted me to convey that. So right now it's up in the air, and it sounds like they are looking to see whether somebody else may be able to do the job. Community outreach, Peggy?
Okay, I met with the Wellfleet teachers today, and Bob also met with me. And after several months, a whole year of inactivity, we are moving ahead, and we hope to have in-class meetings with all the students at grades 3, 4, and 5 scheduled prior to June 15th.
Right.
MCAS, I think, concludes middle of next week, and the teachers and the kids are all ready for some fun activities.
Good.
A nice change of pace. So that the teachers had originally proposed 30 minutes. I sent them a counter proposal and said, any chance of at least 45, and they all agreed. And I said, in any chance that you would consider field trips this year? And by the end of the conversation, all 3 grades would like field trips. I've sent a summary to Denny. He and I had been communicating because we'll definitely need some additional help from Wellfleet Conservation Trust and perhaps from our own committee. One of the grades 3, has a field trip planned on Friday, the 17th of June, where the students will walk into town for a field trip to downtown Wellfleet. And when I mentioned field trip and that it had been, the 3rd graders had gone to Hamlin Island a few years ago, they said, oh, maybe we could stop there and include that. So Fred, I hear that you were one of the walk leaders for the 3rd graders to Hamlin Island a few years ago.
Yeah, with Denny.
Yeah, with Denny. So I've put this out to Denny because that is I will be out of town. That's one of the 3 dates I'm out of town. But it looks like we're going to try to move ahead with a full package of in-class and field trips for all 3 grades. The disappointing news, I think I may have mentioned, this is Mary Beth Rodman's last year as principal. And we learned today that of the 4 teachers that we're working with, 3 of them will be leaving. 1 is retiring, and the other 2, we didn't get the details, but they will not be back. The one teacher who's staying on is new. We've not worked with her before, but after the conversation that Bob and I spoke, and we think she's going to be great to have as kind of our person in place going forward. So we're excited. We have a lot of work to do in the next 2 weeks, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's terrific. I mean, it's all coming together at the very end here.
Yes,
So that makes
yes.
that tough. Sorry to hear about I've heard good things about the school. Sorry to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
that the teachers are, and Mary Beth I knew about, but
Yeah.
are heading out. But that's exciting. You're going to get a chance to work with them. And
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
finally.
happy. I don't want to commit to anything until I look at my schedule because the same problem. I get committed and then don't always remember the commitments, but I certainly would enjoy being out there with them if it works out.
Oh, great. I did ask them to send me possible dates, both for the in-class and for the field trips. And we'll need some help, especially the 4th and 5th grade teachers were saying perhaps they would take all the kids at the same time, which would be 40 kids, to Pilgrim Springs. And I know that Denny has been involved before, and I don't know whether we could divide the group and start at 2 different ends of the trail, do something, but that means we would need twice the walk leaders
Right.
with twice the number
So
of kids.
what date's that one? Do you know? Or?
That one, we don't have that yet.
Okay.
We don't have that one.
Okay.
And that's the place that I get lost. So I don't know that I would be a great walk leader. I guess I could rehearse.
We could walk it beforehand. Peggy, I'd be happy to do that. I'll get in touch with my inner camp counselor. which
Your
is
inner,
like
inner child. And
Ever. So
That would be
that'll
great.
fine.
okay, that will be great. So I will be calling. I'll be putting the alert out. And just as a follow-up on the trail guides, I realized Lynn was leaving and I didn't know how quickly we would be setting things up with the teachers. So I went to her house the day before she left and grabbed stacks of the individual trail
Good.
guides and the sleeve. And I came home and assembled one and I went to a meeting. When I came back, Mike had assembled the other 80.
Hey, thanks to Mike.
Yeah, yeah.
An
And I-
official open space thank you to Michael.
Yeah, as a volunteer, yes. Yeah.
I'll take them out to lunch.
Okay, good.
Okay, with the Conservation Trust, the good news is that Jenny mentioned just a few weeks ago now, but is that the state grant has been received for the purchase of the property that's over on the Herring River. And the last that I heard, and I haven't, the fundraising has been going well. So the hope is that that there's going to be, they'll be able to do a purchase and sale signing, before the end of June. So,
Wow. Wow.
but I haven't, that was the hope. I'm not sure how that's going at this point. And the other thing they're working on, and it's something that, I've asked to be included into our committee, is that is that the trails are being used by private groups, and sometimes private groups that charge for use of the trails. And Denny's concerned about that, and I think with some reason, just to have a policy. I mean, I'm in a number of hiking groups, and when you walk in the park, you are supposed to have a permit from the park, et cetera. And I'm not saying we go to that route, but I think to have some sort of a policy that says this is the expectation, and that you're going to let both them and us, frankly, know if that's the case. So he's working on that now. And that's all I have for that. Friends of the Herring River, Lynn didn't send anything more, but as I mentioned, they are expecting the big grant, and I forget the exact number, 29 million or something. And that's going well. And again, they've had a couple of weeks worth of education and information and Saturday is coming up, and they're looking for people to go over to Gull Pond. So if you have the time there.
Okay.
Housing partnership.
I missed the last meeting, but they've been busy anyway. Wellfleet got, and I'll send this around. The Massachusetts Housing Partnership is awarding Wellfleet and the town of Wellfleet and all the different committees working on housing. They're awarding them one of the 2022 Housing Hero Awards, which comes with, I think, a small bit of money. I have a letter here that I will send around. It went to Brian Curley, but it just recognizes all the work that they've been doing over at 95 and Maurice's and other things. So that's really nice to hear. I also have there all the articles that they're sending in for town meeting, and I'll send that around as well.
Great. Yeah,
we,
some of these, if there's any transfer of property, and there aren't any that I know of, I haven't seen them, but that's something that we should actually take a vote on before town meeting.
Okay,
Um,
I don't think there is. Mostly it is amending their bylaws and dealing with Airbnb type situations.
Right. Okay.
under the Airbnbs, is there any tax and,
I haven't
Any-
read this
okay,
well enough to answer your question, but I'll be sending it around and I can also put together a couple of paragraphs for you.
okay. I'm just wondering, is this something that would it be helpful to them if we were to write a letter of support? But if it's nothing
Always.
to do with open space or,
Mhm.
I'm just thinking if there's rental fees and they're going to be targeted to affordable housing
Okay.
on the Airbnbs, then I think we would want to
No,
support.
I think that makes sense. And I literally just printed this sucker out. So I'll get this around and we can talk about it. We could spend 5 minutes on Thursday, actually.
We'll have a forum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I think, if we can
Mhm.
just put our support, give our support around that.
Mhm.
The other thing in terms of giving support is that the three of us, Peggy, went to hear Mallory, and basically they're looking for support as much as they were asking for questions. And this is the proposal for 95 Lawrence is coming up to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and they're asking if people are available. They did not have a date, and if we could at least show up or support, come out and support them. It's another situation where, even if we aren't able to make it, we could write a letter of support
Mhm.
to the ZBA, just saying that the committee has talked about this and strongly supports, or whatever. You're good at writing those letters, supports the 95 project. People feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, I think we should do both.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see the ZBA in action, so I would be happy to go there. And it'd be easier with a letter in hand and wave it around.
Yeah. You can send it to them ahead of time too, so they have
Yeah.
it, with it. But
Mhm.
I think it's a great idea. Oh, and the only other, and I guess I had it in new, but we can talk about it now, is just because it has to do with the partnership, is with the Morrison's Campground picking up. Again, and I had said that I'd make some contact, but haven't, and I'm not sure how to do it, frankly. I can drop a message to, I guess Ryan would be the person, and just say we were interested in being involved when they come up with the committee. But
Mhm.
yeah, my guess is it's not going to be big amounts of land for open space, but certainly there's a wetlands property, that what you have written about, John, and the
Mhm.
area by the bike path. Although in looking at that, boy, those trailers come up real close to the bike path
Right.
now.
I think one of the things we can look into is that just because the trailers are there, housing doesn't need to be on the same footprint.
Right.
And we can build a buffer with plantings and shrubbery
Absolutely.
along that way
Right.
to protect it. So,
Right. Yeah. And protect the bike path as a scenic area, and the people who live there are protected.
Right.
I think it's a good
Yep.
idea. Yeah.
so I wouldn't worry about the trailers. They'll all be gone.
In 6 years.
Yeah.
Yes, in 6 years.
Yeah. And that's it's quite a nut to crack with all the financial stuff going on. But, yeah.
My understanding is you can't get a mortgage on a used trailer. Can
Oh,
you
is
get a
that
car
right?
loan? I mean, so if they're,
I had a kid who owned one, but that was cash. I know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Right now, I mean, the reality of it is that with those trailers, it is one of the places that that we have people who are of low income means who are living there, but it
Mhm.
doesn't count towards the housing because it's not considered
Right.
housing.
Well, it's also not year round, so.
Some of them are though. I think some of those ones, I'm not, Maurice's may not be, but the ones over on the other side.
On
of the-
Massasoit.
Right,
Yeah, Massasoit, those are year round for sure.
Those are year round, those, yeah, and it's designed for that. Part of the problem with Maurice is all the plumbing will freeze. It's only like 6 inches down or something like that.
right.
So they turn it all off and send everybody home.
Okay, CPC, Fred?
Nothing happens. The needs report to the select board hasn't been scheduled. I guess they've got too many things on their plate right now. So I wait for the call. So no, there's been no meetings either, so nothing happening.
Okay. And NRAB, there's nothing new, Tom was saying. They are going to put a couple of articles on the town
Mhm.
meeting asking for some funding for that, the updated Curly report essentially on the harbor. And there's one other, but nothing new other with them. Okay, in terms of old business, review status of the 5-year plan and the open space survey. And we're going to meet on Thursday. Anything else to?
I have to figure out the best way to do it because I know people are looking at the document online. So I may have to print out all 532 pages, so I have one place I can record any comments and changes. So I'm going to try to figure that out before Thursday.
Yeah. The other big thing I think, and you guys did somehow when I saw the mitigation plan, I thought, wait a minute, we sent in our opinions on, but it wasn't the plan, it was the survey.
Right.
And there actually is a number of things for open space in this plan. Now, they're asking for a response by May 25th, which I think is,
Next
jamming
one.
us up a bit,
Yeah.
but it's worth looking at because, and I did just go over it, is there's a goal for us to be looking at and purchasing land, and that's at the top. That's what we were talking about,
Mhm.
climate mitigation, essentially, Fred, when you were asking about the CPC stuff. So, and the other was that the plan should be referencing or using the hazard plan. And so, we have we need to review it. Like I say, we have plenty of time before our plan's out, but
Mhm.
it's a little, I'm not quite sure whether they're planning to get it into the town meeting. I'm not quite sure what the
hurry
rapid
is.
need for this. I mean, to
Well,
give us a week to work on it, it seems like a little.
it's only, 290 some odd pages. So
I did notice, I'm sure there's a workbook that the state has that's, handbook for
Mhm.
creating such a plan, but I did look at a few pages. This is the list of people who contributed
Right.
to the plan, and it includes what they did,
Right.
which, I mean, we should be thinking about what we're
Yeah.
doing. So when
Yeah.
we identify ourselves as working on our plan, but yeah, I have a feeling by the time they did their survey, much of their plan had been written already.
Mhm.
Right.
Just speculating.
But now unfortunately, I really, did a scanning of the whole thing. But for the survey, it's at least on mine now, I'll try to get it up on the iPad and see if I can expand it. but it was not readable for me. Everything else, everything was quite readable. And then they got to the survey and it was a little junked up. So I wasn't able to see it anyway. Okay, anything else on that? Okay, nothing on the titles. I haven't done anything on that. Or access issues. Going to Conscom tomorrow at 4 to just get their okay in the articles again. They have twice passed this in the past, and so there's unanimously, so not, but just so we make sure they are on for them. Okay. Then one other thing, and there's only 4 of us here, so I'm hesitant to figure out a time right now, but I really do think, and when you look at the what the hazard mitigation or whatever calling is talking about, it's protecting land that abuts water, and all of these, the 2 on Bond Road, abut a marsh, and the 2 on Payne Hollow, and one of them may be concerns about access, but the other one is right on an area on a pond, and so all those properties I think are a high priority. I mean, the reality is that town owns them now, but I think all the more reason to move forward getting them into conservation, because the hazard mitigation says that's what we should be doing.
Well, and I think that makes sense. I mean, we've been talking about that with our plan. The best way to preserve marsh is to have buffer zones all the way around it. So
Right, and all 3 of those, well, all 4 of them are buffers for housing nearby. Okay, that's all I have. Anything else? Anybody?
Bruce, if we do, I haven't had a really chance to go through that thing since you just sent it. But if we do have comments on it, what should we do about it? Should we respond?
Good question, because we're not going to meet before.
No.
Like I say, it's really it's a little, you know, we send in our article and they have something like 45 days to make comments, and you know it's
well, maybe
the only thing I mean, we could certainly write individual letters. I think that, you know, we could even, I'm just trying to decide because of open meeting laws, whether we can, you know, put something together as a team and support it. From what I'm seeing, this is just a quick scan, and I haven't been able to read the survey, but most of this looks pretty good to me. I think some of the stuff they're asking for, you know, more fire department positions, I think some of that stuff is a hard sell right now. But anyway, you know, we can certainly do it individually, but if we can,
well, could we find out whether or not there's any chance they would accept a joint comment from the committee after that date? Is that a hard fixed date?
Right. That's a good idea, Fred. Then if we can, then we could make it a point of presenting it at the next. I can also ask whether they would have problems with, you know, because of the meeting laws, but I think it makes more sense if they will accept it late. Just that gives us an opportunity to talk about it at the meeting.
Okay. Again, we might want to use Thursday to talk briefly about it.
Right.
I suspect, Peggy, your instincts are right. I think every town needs to come up with one of these plans. And so there's a certain amount of boilerplate that goes into these. I haven't worked on a town plan, but I worked on a state's plan, which is sort of this writ large, and a lot of arguing. But So I'm going to be interested in seeing what this looks like.
I mean, it's certainly the part that directly affects us, and that is, you know, we should be looking for properties and going and, you know, addressing those issues of flooding and issues of, you know, that I think open space has a direct, you know, connection to, we should be addressing. There's a lot of stuff in terms of the plan that have many ideas, and I'm not sure we need to address them all, but okay, so we can talk about that on Thursday, and we'll talk to Rebecca and see whether, you know, to tell her that we'd like to talk about this at our next meeting when we've had an opportunity to review it and see if they're okay with that. Okay. Anything else?
We're done.
Short one today, and we'll see you on Thursday at 4.
Okay.
See you all then.
We're hoping for
Oh,
clear weather.
all in favor of?
I move we adjourn.
adjourn, right.
I'll
Okay.
second it, and Fred's in favor of it.
Okay, so that is at whatever time, 5.